Hello Year 2 parents, I am Jasmine Pettit and I teach in 2JP.
Hello, I'm Hannah Jones and I teach in 2JH.
So we're going to do our welcome meeting. We're going to share our screen and record it so you can look whenever you want to. Hopefully it all works. Okay. So I'm over here, Jasmine Pettit, class teacher. Hannah.
I'm over there. And I usually work as a job share with Ashley Harris, who obviously is on maternity leave at the moment, and she'll be returning to work with us after Christmas, when I will work the first part of the week and she will work the second half of the week. We also have Catherine Wellington, who is our Year 2 teaching assistant, and she works with children across both classes. And we also have Charity Preen, who works in 2JH on a Wednesday. So she will cover my PPA on Wednesday afternoon every week. And she also covers the class on Wednesday morning every other week when I am released from class for my leadership time.
Miss Biddlecombe teaches 2JP on a Wednesday afternoon when I have my PPA, and Miss Jones, Miss Hill down here at the bottom teaches 2JP on a Monday afternoon when I have my leadership time. Miss Hill also works in Year 2 on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday morning and takes a small group of children out into the library and just focuses on whatever we are doing in class, but yeah, just in a smaller group. So we're just going to talk about the basics of Year 2. Lots of this is similar to Year 1 and will carry on throughout the school. So we suggest reading 5 times a week with your children. It can be a short 5-minute session, or you can make it longer if your child is engaged and they're happy to carry on, but short and sweet is better than a long stint just once a week. Try and be different and fun. If you need to make it more fun, it could be reading signs, reading things when you're out and about. They could be finding words in a recipe if you're doing some cooking. And when you do read with your child, if you could record it in their reading record, that would be great, just so we know how much they're reading at home. And if you've got any particular things that they've struggled with, then it's great for you to put that in there so we know at school as well, and we can do the same when we read with them. The reading in Year 2 is a little bit different to Year 1 in that we do whole class reading, the same as Key Stage 2. So we all read a similar text, or we are developing the skill as a whole class rather than children reading 30 different books individually. We might have a few groups reading the same book, or it might be a whole class text that we share. We also try and listen to the children read individually, and we've got a few adults that help us get through the children as many times as we can.
Okay, so just talking about home learning, it's been really lovely to see lots of the examples of your children's home learning already on our class dojo. So we've already sent home read home learning books, and that's a place for your children to record their home learning if they want to. We don't expect to have those read home learning books brought into school every week, but rather if you could take a photograph and then post that on Class Dojo, we can have a look, and we will do our best to comment where we can on pieces of homework, but we can't, we're not able to comment on every single piece of homework, but we definitely will look at it, and we definitely will celebrate that home learning with the class, because they love to see the work that they're doing at home. They will love to see that. Also on our class webpage, you can get a copy of the home learning grid. There's a copy of our spellings, and we also put on there any letters that we give out about trips or anything like that. You can find that on the class website as well. And so that's also a place where you can find those things. Class Dojo is also a good place for you to send us questions or communicate with us. So we do check Class Dojo and we read your messages, and we will post information on Class Dojo as well, reminders about PE days or reminders about trips and things like that. We've sent out spellings already, and these are on Spelling Shed as they were in Year 1. So it'd be brilliant if your children could continue to access the spelling games on Spelling Shed to help them to practice their spellings, and any extra spelling practice they want to do. If they want to do that in their Red Home Learning books, that's fantastic, and then just take a photo and post that to Class Dojo.
I forgot to say with the reading, so we're just going to flip back onto that slide. Children can take books home and bring them back once they've read them. We suggest reading them so the children are fluent. So the books aren't supposed to be really tricky for them. They're supposed to be able to read them and show off all the learning. And it's just a time for them to enjoy the book. So it shouldn't be a challenge. They shouldn't be struggling with it. It should be a time to sit down, celebrate what they've learnt in school and show off all their reading to you. Once they bring their book back into school, we then put that into an isolation box for 72 hours so the books aren't being shared between different houses.
Yeah, so maths. So the children in Year 1, we know that they were using the website Numbots. So hopefully they're already used to using that. And we have put their login details for Numbots into their homeschool diaries, their reading record books. So if you are having a look in there, it's the same login as it was last year. Obviously, if you can't find that or you're not sure, just message us on Class Dojo. Later on as the year goes on and we start to look at our times tables, we will begin to use TT Rockstars with the children, which has the same login details as Numbots. So at the moment, we haven't done anything with the children to do with TT Rockstars. We're not expecting them to do TT Rockstars at home yet at all. But when we do, we will make sure that we put appropriate times tables for your child on the TT Rockstars website. So we'll begin by looking at our 2 times table, our 5 times table, and our 10 times table. And then towards the end of the year, or if your child is ready, we will maybe start to put the 3 or the 4 times table, if it's appropriate for your child, onto the website. So it's really fantastic to see lots of the wonderful maths homework that your children have been doing already. And we've loved seeing that on Class Dojo. That's really, really good. Something else I would say about maths is that if you can practice that at home in any kind of fun way that you can, if you're going to the shops, you're buying anything, you're using change, talk about money, introduce the children to money, the different coins that they have, anything you do like cooking, following recipes, measuring, so loads of maths can be brought into everyday life, talking about shapes that they can see around the house, going on a shape hunt. So there are lots of really fun ways that you can practice your maths learning at home.
So uniform is back to normal. So red t-shirt, red jumper, a black skirt or trousers or grey, and plain black shoes.
Coloured t-shirt with your house.
Oh yeah, and a coloured t-shirt for your house for PE. So PE days are Monday and Wednesday, and the children can come into school wearing their PE kit and their trainers on that day. They have a coloured t-shirt for their house and they can wear that on a Monday and Wednesday. We ask that they don't wear any jewellery on those days because we can't take it out for them, and obviously we don't want it to get lost or damaged, and no hooped earrings.
Okay, so it's very hot at the moment and it's brilliant that your children are bringing in their water bottles, and it's really important at the moment in the current circumstances that they do have their own water bottle. Please can you label it, write their name on it in a permanent marker, just because we take those water bottles out at break time and lunchtime to make sure the children can have as much fluid as they can, and then they sometimes forget to bring them back in, leave them outside, and then we're not sure where their water bottles are. So please label your water bottles. We are trying to encourage the children to take them home at the end of every day so that they can be washed at home, and then they can come back into school and they can put fresh water in them as well. But they really do need their own water bottle in school. So toys, I mean, we've always had a policy in Parsons Street about not bringing any toys in from home. So I know that was the same in year 1, but it's really important at the moment in the current circumstances that they don't bring anything from home in apart from their water bottle and their pack lunch and their reading books. So obviously with toys and things like that, they get lost, they get broken, and we can't, we don't want to be responsible and for children to be upset if they're losing things that they bring from home. So please, can they leave toys at home? Thank you.
These are our email addresses if you want to contact us. We've got jpettit@parsonstreet.com and hjones@parsonstreet.com. When Mrs. Harris comes back after maternity leave, you can also email her, but at the moment we'll leave her be with her baby. So phonics screening was supposed to happen at the end of year 1, but because of lockdown, that has now been moved to the end of term 2. So you don't need to worry about it. The children don't need to worry about it. It's nothing scary. The children practice reading some words, and it will be to either myself or to Miss Jones, depending on which class your child is in. They just go out and do some reading. They basically just read the words to us, and it's quite a nice little one-on-one activity, and then you find out the results later in the year. In terms of what you can do to help your child with their phonics, we suggest just practice reading their levelled book and give them lots and lots of praise. That's probably the main thing. Just get them to have a go at sounding out words. If they're not sure, kind of pick it apart and look for the phonemes, the graphemes that they do know, and just help them feel confident. At the moment, I think Phonics Play is still free. So you can go onto there and play some of the games. We do the speed trials every day, and we do the common exception words. I think they're called tricky word trucks on there. So the children will be familiar with those games if you have time or if you would like to practice some phonics things at home. But like I said, it's nothing scary for the children, and we just make it nice and fun.
Okay, so the SATs, Key Stage 1 SATs, these will take place in May 2021, next year. We will be doing a SPAG assessment paper, a reading assessment paper, and then we do maths, we do a reasoning paper and an arithmetic paper. We do lots of preparation with the children around this within our normal daily lessons. So by the time we come to do any of these assessments, the children are very used to answering those kind of questions, and we make it as relaxed as possible and a sort of an enjoyable time. In my experience, they really enjoy doing the SATs and showing all the wonderful learning that they can do. So it's nothing for them to worry about, and they will feel completely prepared when the time comes to do that. And it's just those papers then will inform our own teacher judgment as to where your child is and what their next steps would be in year 3.
In year 6, I know that they talk about SATs as being a test and like a formal assessment. In year 2, we just call them quizzes, and the children quite often don't even know that they've done them. So last year, or the year before, a child said to me, "Are we doing our SATs?" And this was like a month after they'd already done them. So they don't know, and we don't tell them that they're doing SATs. We just say we're going to do some fun quizzes, and they seem to get very excited. And we usually have a bit of a celebration at the end just for all their hard work. So normally we do this in the classroom, so if you had any questions, you could just pop your hand up or come and talk to one of us. Obviously we can't do that at the moment, but if you do have any questions, then please email us. I put our email addresses down there again, and we will try and get back to you as soon as we can. If there are lots of the same questions, we'll also put those onto Dojo and onto the website so that you can see frequently asked questions and answers. And I think that is everything. So hopefully this has all worked, hopefully it makes sense, but like I said, if you do have any questions, then feel free to ask. Goodbye.
Thank you.